Just let people time to pop in if they. Oops, down a little bit. Um, anyways, Jennifer here. Back after a 2 week hiatus. I was out of town 1 week, and then it was last weekend was Memorial Day, so I figured, probably not the best weekend to be doing a live stream, if for no other reason than it gets loud in my neighborhood, but it was surprisingly quiet. So I can only assume at this point Abaddon ate my neighbors, which I'm okay with. Anyways, today's my birthday, so there's that. I think I have. Yes. I don't know if anyone's here yet, so I'm just gonna be babbling anyways. So make sure I'm up. I think yep. I have. Just wanted to make sure I was. The stream was going. I had a little trouble. Every time I start a stream, it's always like the first minute of me going, "Fuck, this isn't working." For some reason, it wasn't picking my camera and audio up right. But anyways, thank you, Alyssa. Yeah. So it's been busy couple weeks. I've been going through a lot of old journals from, at least 30 years. So going back, actually, no, going back about 33 years. So that's going to take you a little bit of time, and has been emotionally something draining, exhausting at times. Whew. But I've been doing that sort of because as I've been working on the Occult Origin Story series, I wanted to see how far back some of this stuff went for me. So I've been going back to all the journals that I have date back to like 1990. So I've been going through all them and kind of earmarking, various things and trying to discern the patterns. So some of them you'll see in the This Old Witch journal I've already gone through that had a lot more magical experiences, supernatural experiences, things like that. So I'm just kind of going back through the earlier ones and then the later ones. It's been an interesting journey, I'll say that for sure. Hi, Corey. What's up, Bubby? You want to come here? Do you want to come and say hi? No? Do I need to get a chair here for you to co-star? Corey the cat is down here. Oh, hi, bud. Sorry, before I end up all clawed up. This is Corey. He says, hello, everyone. And now you distracted me and I completely forgot what I was talking about. So yeah, in that, because I used to write a lot. Like I'm not talking just like, the stuff I write in like my grimoire type things. I used to write a lot of, I journal, but I also wrote a lot of poetry. Some that I'm pretty sure now were channeled messages. Various prose and long form poems and short form things and random thoughts. Hi, buddy. Oh no, I love you. You ignore me until I sit down and start talking, and then you're like, it's all about me. So yeah, it's been really fascinating doing that. And hey, Eddie, that's okay. I decided, well, since it's my birthday, I'm like, you know what I want to do today? I want to sleep all day. So I took a couple, woke up and was like, you know what I could do? Take a few edibles, and then, it was 4 p.m. and I was like, well, maybe I'll like eat and do some stuff and be a sentient human being. So I probably won't be going to bed anytime soon, but hi, at least sans extra edible. Corey is being Corey. And if you're familiar with my channel, Corey, who is now trying to make an earthquake on my table. Corey, hi, buddy. Do I need to get you a chair? Do I need to get you your own chair? I am Corey's emotional support human. So you're out of trans-dimensional gummies. Yeah, I just had to order more. I just had to get more of the Amanita gummies. I love those. It's like boom, trippy nap, and then 12 hours later, you're like, I might be conscious again. Those are great. Hi, buddy. You're being a nudge. You're being a little nudge. Um, yeah, so sorry, I keep getting distracted by my cat. Because right now his tail is about to get caught and tangled up in the webcam and computer cable, and I didn't want that to happen. Oh, buddy, I love you. Oh, hi. Oh, you're so sweet. I may have to get my cat a chair here in a minute because he's being extra. You're being extra, Corey. I didn't know where he was until like I sat down here, and now he's like, "Hi, here I am." But yeah, so I decided that the best thing I could do on my birthday was sleep all day. Um, my birthday is kind of a touchy subject for me because I'm usually for the past 5 or 6 birthdays I've been in a whole ass mood. Um, because I am really irritated by the fact that time travel does not exist. And I can't go back in time to pummel 2004 Jen, who thought it was a great idea to get married on her 30th birthday in 2005, because I'm divorced now, which kind of like makes my birthday kind of suck. But anyways, because it's one of those like I used to always have huge parties and all sorts of things on my birthday, and now I'm just kind of like may as well sleep all day. I would say that I'm bummed that I'm missing the Sisters of Mercy show in Philadelphia tonight, but like, because they're like one of my favorite bands. But the last time I saw them in 2006, they were quite awful. I hope they got better. I've heard rumors that there's a guitar player now because that's something that seems relevant unless you are. Yeah, did it suddenly become 1986 and I didn't know? Ugh. Anyways, so if you have any questions or topics you'd like to see discussed, otherwise I'm just going to kind of ramble for a little bit. I don't know how long I'm going to um, be online. Some of that just honestly right now depends on how loud my neighborhood gets at any given time and how consistently loud it stays. Because it gets makes me a little stabby. But I had some new videos dropping this week. I think I'm scheduled out up until Tuesday. Trying to think. Sometimes I try to like come up with topics to talk about for the live streams, and I did not do that because I'm kind of like in one of those um I am shooketh kind of phases where I'm just kind of like having some spiritual downloads, gnosis, synchronicities, and making connections I hadn't previously made on a lot of things. So um, that's making my brain feel like I ate a whole bunch of trans-dimensional gummies. That's for sure. So, and now I'm pretty sure my cats are about to get in a fight. Because they're cats. That's what they do. Um, I'm trying to decide if this is a good time frame to do the live stream in. I seem to end up with a lot of people in Corey. I seem to end up with a lot of international folks who are just getting up as opposed to people, But let's see. Question: when you were receiving messages for the first time, how did you react? Because I'm struggling to discern, and I got scared and straight up went into therapy. I mean, as I'm going back through a lot of the things that I'm reading that I wrote like decades ago when I was, because I mean I was probably like a teenager at the time, with the messages. Some of them I didn't realize were messages or things that I was channeling, but once I did, but I was more like meditating and trying to make or more spiritually open at that point in time. Um, what's always kind of freaky for me is when I go into like those trance states, where you're kind of like here, you're conscious but not entirely. You're just on a different wavelength. So it's like sometimes you just kind of like space out. You're here. You're physically. You're not asleep. You're not in a dream state or astral traveling or meditating or things like, you're just kind of like bilocated in different planes or different planes of existence or different realms, which can be a little like, until you get used to it, like you'll just be, there were times where stuff like that would happen. I'd be like, oh, here. And then I'd look back. I'm like, wow, 3 hours just passed. What the just happened? You know, it can be a little disconcerting in that sense. um, yeah, I mean, there's a point in time, you know, where you can, you know, I would say I was, one of the videos that's coming up that I dropped, I was talking about this a little. It's sort of like, we're talking about like people who are spiritually delusional, like the I am the one true Satan, Lilith, Lucifer, Samael, butthole of God people, or the chosen ones. It's a lot of those people who are delusional in that sense. They never question their bullshit or their delusions. So if you have the ability to question things, I think that's usually a good earmark of being able to discern what is real and what is not, and that you're able to question it. You're not just going, oh, okay, well, you know, Satan talked to me through a loaf of bread, and okay, cool, and you know, and you don't question it. It's one needs to always have a healthy level of skepticism, and there's things that you're just never going to be able to explain. It's like, I don't know how I know this, I just know this, or I don't know how this. Corey, please don't eat my sun chips. Get your feet up. Yeah, the spaced out feeling, driving the car from the backseat is a good way to put it. You know, it's kind of, I think I've talked about some of my experiences that I've had where it's kind of like the spirit has just been like, here I am. And it's like, okay, no, you're here now, here now, here now, here. Okay, this is exactly where you need to be right now. Where it's kind of done this push-pull thing and then gotten me to where I'm at. The wise thing a therapist told me, you know who doesn't sit around wondering if they might be crazy? Crazy people. Fair point. And one of the therapists I work with also is an occultist, which helps. So, but I'm also, because you know, I have struggled with mental health issues, is that I have become a very well educated, informed patient, so that I can advocate for myself and understanding the different, you know, things that are part of, you know, what are the symptoms of CPTSD? You know, it's kind of like, I know when I go into a dissociative state that's triggered by something CPTSD related, that I'm not having a spiritual experience. I'm having a trauma response. I know how to discern those two things as being very, very, very different experiences. And a lot of this is just, you know, constant exploration. Definitely write things down. And take it from me, write things down in as cogent way as possible as you can. Because, oh my God, I'm the queen of like, well, I wrote 2 pages in this journal, 1 page in this journal, 3 in this one. I'm like, put them all together. But for me, I'm currently kind of exploring, like I was saying earlier, like before Corey distracted me, like I was really into writing a lot. And then like I could fill a journal like this in a matter of cover to cover, even ones like thicker, within like a month or 2. And I did that for all of the 90s. Maybe not having the internet was part of that, or the internet being in its infancy. But hi, Soaring Eagle, the queen of the incarnation of books. Yes, books. I'm a nerd alert. Corey, would you stop being a dick? Anyways, so damn it. I didn't take my Adderall today, so I'm probably going to lose my train of thought a lot because I decided to sleep in for my birthday, and edibles are good. And not gonna lie, my fruit smoothie has a little bit of rum punch in it, which is an excellent addition. And you can convince yourself you're having something nutritious. So for me, I was trying to understand why I stopped writing, because I wrote up till like, I would say till about May 2000, and then it just started slowly drifting off. And by May 2001, I just stopped. Like a book this size, I had maybe written 20 pages in total over the course of that year and a half. And oddly enough, and the last thing I wrote in that journal was a quote from Babylon 5. There's a hole in your mind. So that's a whole ass rabbit hole to literally to explore. And the other part of it was trying to understand why I stopped, because I have a degree. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in studio art and art history, and I stopped painting, like, or the last time I painted was about 15 years ago, until yesterday. I decided this week because I had something come through, like a spirit message. Like it was a very clear thing that I need to make these like spirit portal paintings. And I can very clearly see it, what I'm supposed to do with this. So I went to, the arts and crafts store and bought some. This is not the first time I've done this and bought things. I'm like, I'm going to paint, and not painted, but I actually started painting. So I would say it's like riding a bicycle, but I have actual proof that you can forget how to ride a bicycle, because I used to ride I had a bicycle when I was a kid. And I tried to ride a bicycle again, like maybe 10 years ago. I did not know how to ride a bicycle. You can forget that. So when people say it's like riding a bike, fuck that. You can forget how to ride a bike. Anywho, or at least I can. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yes, it is my birthday, the 48th one. I gotta say, I look pretty good for my age. What bike? Well, yeah, the bike of Lucifer. No, it's jumping Lucifer on a pogo stick. Um, excuse me. I've recently come to discover that I think I'm allergic to mullein leaf, which I use in a lot of my products. So I might have to reformulate stuff. I just end up like if I make something with mullein in it, I end up like coughing awfully for like I'm not sick. It's just like I get this tickle in the back of my throat and I'm just coughing for like a week. I made incense like 2 or 3 days ago and I'm still coughing from it. Yes, it's Gemini season, the best season. Cancer season and Pisces season are like emo season. Hey kid, I love my Pisces and Cancers. They've just been added to the list of astrological signs I no longer date. That's probably because I spent the vast majority of the past 30 years with Cancers and Pisces. So I'm going to spice it up a little bit. What's up, cats? I like Libra season. I have a lot of Libras in my family. And BFFs that are Libras. Can't forget them. So I vibe pretty well with Libras. Although my brother and I always joke, my poor mom is like she's a Taurus and she's rad, but like she's got all of the air signs because my dad's an Aquarius, I'm a Gemini, and my brother's a Libra. So I just always imagine her as kind of the tree that keeps us all from floating off into the ether. You put a hard stop in your occult research as per recommendation by therapist. 1 month later, I came crawling back. Yeah, I mean, I found in one of my journal exploration I found one from maybe about 12, 13 years ago when I first started like really doing like the therapy and getting towards the trauma healing and stuff like that. And like I started really questioning a lot of these things. I'm like, were these just illusions? What I thought were spiritual experiences, being able to, the psychic abilities, being able to communicate with the dead and stuff like that. But to be able to question those things is, like Eddie, like Eddie had said, you know, crazy people don't question if they're crazy. That's usually the thing. So being able to question these things, but if your therapist, thought that this was, putting undue strain on things or causing other issues, then I would go with what they kind of recommended at that point. But I will also say this: I've chewed my way through a lot of shitty therapists over the years to find like good ones. Because sadly, it is really hard to find decent psychiatrists and therapists. It can be. I mean, I've had ones that were okay, and I've had ones that were absolutely horrible. Um, that was more on the psychiatrist part, but because you'll have people that are just like, it's in the book, we don't deviate from the book, so if it's in the book, this is it, and whatnot, and there's no anything beyond that. My recent spate of therapists were all, spiritual or spiritually open in a sense, maybe, not like practitioners. Well, one is, but, they were open to like me exploring things, whether it be, Reiki healing or whether it be shamanic healing or things like that. They never really saw that as holding me back personally, but we all have different experiences and stories and things like that. If you were someone who had, auditory and visual hallucinations associated with, like, say, schizophrenia or something in that matter, then maybe it might be a different story. So, but I'm not a medical professional, so I can't really give any advice on that. But I can just talk from my experience. So I always feel weird when my psychiatrist asks, "So have you heard any voices or seen anything?" So I'm like, "No." Yeah. You might be able to, if you do like an online therapy kind of service, find someone that is uh, outside. Like, I think that it might be like, it's either psychology.com or psychologytoday.com, I think, has, like, you could search therapists. I know there's some therapy apps and stuff like that as well, that you might be able to look for someone who is um able to uh align more with where you are at spiritually, because there are people who will just sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, you're crazy." Mm. What would you like to talk about the Goetia? I mean, I could talk about a little. I don't particularly. I work with. I mean, there's some overlap with the spirits I work with from the Goetia, but like I don't really do Goetic workings per se the way they are outlined, and the same with like any of the old grimoires, like the Grimoire Verum, the rituals from that, and some of the other ones. um I don't know, I kind of take the fly by the seat of your pants approach to my practices. So whatever works, whatever seems to work for me at the time. Like, I'll get kind of a download of, okay, you need to do this, this, and this for this particular ritual or spell or something like that. Which reminds me, I have something I need to work on with Mammon coming up. I just need to do that. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with that yet. I don't think Mammon is in the Goetia. It might be the Dictionary Infernal, I think, or See, there's a lot of when you read all of the old grimoires, like the Grand Grimoire, the Goetia, Grimoire Verum, the Dictionary Infernal, the Pseudo-Monarcha Daemonium, there are spirits that overlap in there's some that are only in one, or ones that show up in all of them, or like this one, and not that one. So what method are you using to summon them from the Goetia? Like, is there a particular ritual you're doing? Like, I'm like, do I have like swooshing around? Okay. I was like, do I have the Goetia handy? Like, is there a particular ritual from the book that you're doing? And by Goetia, I'm assuming you mean the Lesser Key of Solomon, the Clavicula Solomonis Regis. Because there is also like the Lemegeton and the Ars. This would be the Ars Goetia. There's the Ars, let's say Nova. I forget. Novaire. I mean, so with working with any spirit, it's, I usually say it's a yes and no thing. I usually, how do I want to put this? If you don't approach them with fear, if you're just open to it, I feel like you have a smoother experience with it. If you're, really, intimidated and scared and fearful of it, then I think sometimes our feeling state that we're in about something can project into our experience with it. But I mean, with anything, I mean, there can be dangers to anything in magic, even if you're doing something completely innocuous or seemingly innocuous. You kind of can end up with those butterfly effect results where it's sort of like, well, I didn't realize this one working I did here now 3 years later. I'm like, okay, so it did this, which led to that, which led to this, which led to that, which led to that. And then, I'm here now. This interesting. Like you start to follow some of that. Because I realized that after I did the working or the video I think I dropped earlier today about Abaddon. Like I kind of realized that even though this was 3 years ago, I'm like, oh, this was a chain of events that unfolded a whole bunch of other things. And I'm like, because if I didn't do A, B, and C, which made, D, E, and F happen, which led to the next, letters in the alphabet, I wouldn't have ended up at Z. I just don't want to go into all the details because it's personal and some of it involves people, exes and stuff. So it's like, well, if I didn't, reconnect with this person, I wouldn't have reconnected with that person and then, follow, the chain of all the things that happened because of that work that I did. And I'm like, well, the occult fly effect. Yeah. So there's always going to be some causality and cause and effect to the things that you do. Like in the Return to Sender spell video I did recently, I was talking about how after my car got totaled, I had done a return to sender thing because the person just, left it. They didn't leave any insurance. They probably didn't even have insurance. Did a return to sender spell, TLDR. Oops, a bus crash was like a couple weeks later. And then after I was walking back from that, I just got this little whoosh of, okay, it's done. Did I intend for the result of this return to sender spell to be a bus crash involving a whole lot of other people? Unless 50 people totaled my car, which I don't think. So sometimes, yeah, I mean, there can be consequences, and it's, even if you have really good working relationships with the spirit world. I always put it this way. It's like when people talk about things that are safe, or sometimes with natural things, you need water to stay alive, but too much water can kill you. Too little water can kill you. So it's all about the great thing, balance. I hope that answers your question. Hmm. I haven't tried to do the goetic summonings that way. I am by no means an expert on goetic rituals. Just it was just something to me that I did not that I didn't feel particularly drawn to. Like, I like some of the language, like the invocations and things like that. The like the second conjuration or something like that. I like some of that. I just never really got really all that deep into the Solomonic magic. I think you can work with the goetic demons without necessarily doing the it as it's in the book in the Goetia. I haven't. I initially started working out, Alyssa. I initially started working a little bit in the Celtic pantheon like decades ago. So I may have done some work and just haven't come across the documentation of it yet, or I just didn't write it down. But the Morrigan seems to be the one that came through for me the most. But yes, I haven't really worked with Chernunos. I don't really feel particularly drawn to the Celtic pantheon beyond, like, sometimes there's just certain archetypal type entities or ones that'll come to you. Like, I really only work with like Medusa and Hecate from like the Greco-Roman pantheon or the Greek pantheon and stuff like that. So, or I feel more drawn to the Greek pantheon than say the Roman equivalents. So, it's a matter of kind of what you're drawn to, I guess, or if you have a reason to work with them. Jared said, I felt the presence during the preliminary bornless ritual, but it left when I started the conjurations. Yeah, I like the bornless ritual actually. That's one I do like. Um, Sometimes it's a matter of having your senses open to uh like how you expect the summoning to go. And when it comes to scrying, I mean, we all have different methods of it. Like for me, I prefer when I'm doing rituals like that, I do smoke scrying, and a lot of what I'll do, especially if I'm getting a lot of really like rapid, like a lot of smoke and stuff like that, I'll just like click, 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 and I will take like dozens of photos, and then I will go through and look at all the photos. Another thing you can do too, if you're doing any kind of scrying, because sometimes these things are moving too fast, and it's not like you can pause a fire scrying session or pause a thing or slow it down. But like what you could do, because I've done this a couple times recently, is I will do a slow motion video of the smoke, so I can kind of see a little bit more how it's moving, what's coming up in it. So sometimes you will see things manifest like that in the smoke. But, you know, we all have different, and if you watch the video, I think I dropped yesterday maybe on the clairs, getting, you know, doing some practices and stuff to really get your psychic senses, because we all have different, like there's areas where you're going to be like up here as far as your skill level, and ones where you're going to need to sort of kind of develop to get them more on length, on par. And I do have a book recommendation for that. Actually, one of, sorry, I actually want to give this another read again. The Psychic Witch by Matt Oren is a really excellent book for that, because it is filled with exercises on let's see. I mean, there's like exercises on everything. You know, developing your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, and all of the different clairs, and you know, energy cleansing and protection, and whatnot. So I would, if you're finding you have difficulty with the summoning, I would maybe, you may not have to go through cover to cover, but I would find the exercises in here where maybe you need to work on you know, awakening different senses. Because like, yeah, there's one in here where it's like hearing spirits, or deep listening. So maybe, you know, focus on one of these exercises and really kind of start to hone those skills. So, I mean, that would be my recommendation if you're struggling with anything, especially with summoning or evocation, or with like scrying with your psychic senses and whatnot. 'Cause this, I mean, there are, God, I don't know how many, 66. There are probably almost 100 different exercises, yeah, probably in here, that you can do that will help you. And you know, you don't have, you know, you could take a whole year and dedicate yourself to learn, to honing each of these things in the books. You went to your first acupuncture session. How effective is third eye chakra clearing? Would you recommend Reiki over acupuncture? They have different, they're both entirely different mechanisms. Like I've had both sometimes at the same time. Like the shamanic healer I go to sometimes, if he needs to do acupuncture, he'll you know, do that within the energy healing sessions. So for me, the last time I had it, the acupuncture really helped. He did it all along my back, because it was like, basically for me, I needed a releasing of, excuse me, the things I was carrying that didn't necessarily belong to me, like other people's energy, or the weight, carrying the weight of the world on your back. So he had done that as part of the shamanic healing that I had. I will say this, I had a pinched nerve in my shoulder, and you know, went to see the neurologist, had tried all different kinds of things. The only thing that actually helped that pinched nerve was acupuncture. And that was the first time I had it. I was like, ugh, are you serious? Acupuncture? This is so like, I was like, well, fuck, it worked. Cupping, however, is really freaking weird. I don't know what the hell that is. And it looks like, you know, you have the shit kicked out of you afterwards. Reiki, I mean, they're both different modalities of it. You can do, I find like for third eye chakra clearing, like there's a lot of crystals you can work with for that. Like I love, you could try meditating with something like apophyllite or Lemurian quartz. Those are my two favorites for that. Amethyst is a good one, and the amethyst is more crown, I think. But if you look at clearing, those ones, apophyllite or Lemurian, are probably my favorites for third eye work. But But it depends on what you're really attuned to as well. I mean, there's hundreds of crystals probably that are good for third eye. So, do I have them handy? Oh, I do. Good thing I'm sitting in front of my bookshelves and have good muscle memory of where my books are. Let's see. I don't know if this one goes by chakras in here. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, sure. I think you should be able to see this. Miriam quartz and apophyllite. I think I spelled it right. Those are my two favorite ones for that. They're so if you're interested in the Crystal Healer, Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Philip Permute, those are my two like really like go-to books on crystal stuff. What I like is like all the crystals are sort of color coded. So if you kind of look at, the color codes, because each of the chakras has a different kind of color associated with it. So usually I think sometimes I think blue crystals can often be like blue lace agate. I use a lot for throat chakra stuff. What's the other one I use? Blue calcite. Some of the blue, like darker blue stones, can be for third eye. Like lapis lazuli is a good one for that. But like the violet ones are usually, and purple are usually more for the crown. Some of the white and clear ones either are associated with all chakras or good for the upper chakras. So that's where you have like apophyllite, the Lemurians. Danburite is another one that's really good that I use for. Actually, that one I think works a little bit more with the upper chakras. Herkimer Diamond was the other one. That's a little more associated with the crown, but it's also known as the Stone of Ascension. So Moonstone, even though Moonstone's associated with the sacral, I find that's also one that's really good for like psychic abilities and stuff. I will put that away later. What was the other one I put? I'll put it in here. Herkimer Diamond. I really need to start putting together my series on like crystal videos because I have so much crystal knowledge and stuff like that. I have not done any videos on it. I talk about it in some of them, like in the Return to Sender video I did. I talk about really good crystals to use for Return to Sender type spells. But so I hope that answered your question. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so when it comes to like healing modalities, back to like the Reiki and stuff like that, like whether you're doing Reiki or whether you're doing Qigong or whether you're doing acupuncture, they're all kind of working on your energetic pathways. I mean, even doing different types of yoga can do that as well. Like Kundalini yoga is really intense, but really amazing for that kind of energy. Yeah, like I am shocking to no one ever. I'm a giant nerd for learning about things. Like I always kind of like, I like crystals because I'm a magpie and I like shiny things, but like I didn't really like, okay, well, this is a crystal. Look how cool it is. It's shiny. It's got things in it. But like I didn't really understand how people use them, like what the science of crystals were, like why is this called why do we call, why is bloodstone called bloodstone? Because there's a lot of historical lore and things for what these crystals were used for. And once you start understanding the energy and the science behind crystals and how they work, it's not just, it's more than just new age woo. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of new age woo around crystals, but once you start getting into the like actual science of it, and I took a lot of classes on this, and um like the energy conduction that's in them, like, or the purification qualities, like shungite is an amazing water purifier. So if you were out camping or something and you needed to drink water from a stream, you could put shungite in your water to purify it. Like I think there's shungite caves in Russia that have the literal most pure water in the world, because and it's used in like water purification systems and things like that. And not for nothing, if you throw some shungite into like a flashlight, it'll turn the flashlight on. So it's got like energetic conduction to it. So um there's a lot, and that's what I really want to kind of bring into doing it. So I have to kind of not just, I have to do a little more research into that and write out, kind of format them in a way that isn't just me going, hey, look at this shiny crystal, isn't it awesome? But hey, look at this crystal, isn't it awesome? It is a pretty awesome crystal. Like, thank you, Chili. So a lot of times when you see crystals, like they'll have like inclusions in them. Like this is primarily like a smoky quartz, but it's also got a lot of rutils in it for like rutilated quartz, and possibly even some tourmaline as well. Do you have to find a shamanic healer? No, I mean unless that's the kind of modalities that you want to look to. There's a lot of like what integrated wellness centers that offer a whole wide array. Like there's the one that I go to has acupuncture, Reiki healing, shamanic healing, sound healing, all sorts of different stuff, past life regression, Gestalt coaching. So you might find that if you find something that's more of like a wellness center in that sense, that you might find you've got a lot of different options that you can experiment with and find what works best for you. I'm not sure how knowledgeable a chiropractor. It might depend on the chiropractor. That's one. I went to a chiropractor years ago. I didn't find it particularly useful, but that was going more for like physical health issues with my hips and back. But some people love, my family loves going to the chiropractor, but that one for me, I just didn't feel a great connection to. So, but it's finding what works for you in that sense. So you might find that working with a chiropractor is amazing and life-changing and whatnot, where me, I'm just like, meh. But I think it might depend on like if there was a chiropractor that was associated with like a sort of, integrated wellness center that had like Reiki and shamanic healing and stuff like that, then they probably would be a little more chakra oriented with their knowledge. Reiki is really good for chakra work. Crystal healing, working with different crystals for that is, because there's a lot of like body layouts that you can do. They're not exactly, sometimes balancing things on yourself isn't exactly easy. It's like to try to do a meditation with, a piece of crystal on my forehead is not going to be easy for me while I'm sitting up. I could do it if I was laying flat or I was doing it for someone else. Like sometimes what you would have to do with that would be like, take a little piece of cloth. Like I don't like putting a large stone on your throat chakra is going to be uncomfortable. But maybe wearing a throat chakra, necklace or something. This is more of a heart chakra one, which kind of is where this is where the crowsite, which is where it kind of hangs out. But I'm I'm starting to have piled up books on this side. I'm like, I don't know if I'm running out of room. Yeah, it's like with the crystal videos, it's a daunting task of where to start. Like I need to kind of map out a way. Like, do I want to do? Yeah, but I have. There's a lot of channels I watch that have crystals on. Like, do I want to just like do a single crystal profile? Do I want to be like, here's the top 10 crystals for you clearing your throat chakra, or my favorite crystals for blah blah blah. Yummy. And once again, I'm going to have to eat dinner after this because I ate before this, but like around 4 or 5, but that was lunch, I think. So it took me a while to answer both Hecate and Lilith. The guided meditation is a good way to ease into meeting spirit. I just started with that and the ends and just talking to them about. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that is definitely um, that's definitely a valid way to working with spirits. It's there's multi-layered approaches to doing any kind of work. You have to find what works best for you. Um, and everyone is going to have entirely different ways. I mean, there's going to be similarities, of course, but we all have our different ways of doing things. And sometimes if we have disabilities and or things that are monetary restrictions that um we have to adapt and modify things. And there are some elitist snobs out there who will tell you you're doing it wrong or whatnot. And it's like, oh, okay, so like the spirit world doesn't give a shit about like disabled people. Is that what you're saying? So I've run into that type of person that's doesn't seem to think like unless you do it this way, then it's not valid. And whatever. Hey there, thank you. Sorry your signal is you're still having internet issues. That sucks. But thank you for the birthday wishes. Realizing that you probably can't hear me, I will type that in there. Thank you. Yeah, I get weird internet issues sometimes too. Like for some reason my TV upstairs would just be like, internet? We don't see internet. I'm like, every other device does. What's up with you? So hope you get that. Hope that works out for you soon. We have to do it. We have to hop on and do a podcast. But I worship them both, so you don't have to necessarily pray to them if it isn't your preference. Yeah, absolutely. It's there's a lot of different ways of communing with spirits, and yes, I mean you can pray and in a similar construct to the way that it is in say like Christianity or something, or you can speak a conjuration, or you can speak an invocation. You could write something. Shit, I'm supposed to write something. Ooh, that reminds me. Sorry, did not have Adderall today, so I apologize. I am. I picked up a really awesome book a couple weeks ago. It was during one of the off weeks. I just remembered because I looked at it. it's a book that I picked up called Poetry as Spellcasting. And I've been reading through that, and there's different ways of performing ritual based on like writing and things like that, like writing poetry or writing prose or things like that. So it's really, really fascinating. And I think, excuse me, the reason it kind of popped into my head is that I feel like what I need to do in that process of starting to write again is that I need to write some invocation type work with the different spirits or prayers, if you want to call them, poems, whatever, that I need to do something of that sort as part of my practice. So, but it's a really cool book. I think it's by multiple authors. I like it's got different like exercises or types of things that you could do as part of ritual. It's very beginner friendly, so highly recommended. I have another book sitting underneath that. Oh, yes, the Occult Study of Melancholy by Asenath Mason. I just got that this week. I'm like, yes, melancholy. We're old friends. So, like, I feel like I've been in this process of rediscovery of myself, and by starting to write again in the more creative writing sense, not in the I did this ritual and I talked this thing and in a documentary sense of creative writing. I've started of reconnecting with that part of myself and starting to paint again after not having painted for like 15 years. So, because I guess the spirit world thinks I need some hobbies that are also related to the spirit world, or I need a creative outlet. I don't know. Well, it's also that a lot of, most of my day is consumed with doing work stuff. So it's like, I'm either making videos. I'm either making videos for my channel, or I'm doing admin stuff for my business, or I'm making stuff for my business, or I'm packing orders. I'm really annoyed at the post office for not having picked up my outgoing orders today. Got them all week, but not today. No. And I know I didn't miss them because I put it out at like 8 a.m. And then realized I was awake at 8 a.m. and was like, what the fuck is this shit? So. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is just sort of a broad spectrum all over the place, occult chit chat, and me rambling about things because I forgot to take my Adderall today and was blissfully lost track of the time, and then I was like, shit, it's almost 10. I should like do my makeup. Although I do like when my hair fades, I get to be like a pastel goth for a little bit. But I did get some cool birthday presents this week for myself because I am awesome at buying presents for myself. This is, you probably can't see it very well, but I got it from Killstar. It's like called the Assassins like duster. It's maybe about knee length. Um, but it's almost like a bathrobe with like a hood and a scarf. So it's like, yay, I'm super comfortable. And now I'm like hiding because I'm in an Assassin's Guild. I look. Anyways, I will reveal my head now. Also, it's getting a little warm, but it's very comfy. It's like having it's like a security blanket type thing. I don't know how long I'm going to do the stream for tonight. So since I slept most of the day, I have a couple things I want to do before probably not sleeping. I might paint some more actually. So that's something. And I've been trying to write a little bit more at night, and I need to make something to eat at some point. I think at some point earlier I was mentioning I'm not entirely sure if I want to stick with this time because I don't know if this time is really good for everyone like on a Saturday evening. Um, there's just so many like ones that are on Friday night that like I would either have to do it really early on Friday or really fucking late. Um, so I don't know. I could possibly do Sundays, but I don't know if people have a preference between Saturdays and Sundays, but if you do, let me know. Um, all right, I definitely need to eat something because I'm definitely feeling the rum punch from my fruit smoothie. And I am not one to make drunken live streams, so there be that. Does anyone have any other questions or topics they'd like to see discussed? Because if not, I might wrap up and pee. And I'm hungry. I didn't eat enough yet today. Saturday, you can't stay up on Sunday. Should I start it earlier on Saturdays or later? I don't know. I'm trying to find like the sweet spot of timing. I mean, really, like to me, it doesn't really matter because like I make my own schedule. So I can like as long as it's not before noon, my time, I can pretty much do a live stream anytime. So, um, oh man. Well, I definitely have to go soon because my vape battery needs to be charged. Tragic. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and definitely hit the notification bell because I've noticed YouTube really sucks ass with sending notifications out, even if you have it set up to get notifications for videos. Because I know usually with like live streams and stuff like that, or even, well, if there's a premiere, I still have to click the notify me on the individual video to actually get the notifications. So just sometimes a pain in the ass, but because otherwise, like I don't get, like I didn't even get notifications of my own damn videos sometimes. Because I've set them, the video drops I've sent now to premieres because people just weren't getting notifications of them. So, all right, yeah, I'm definitely more towards keeping the streams on the weekends because I feel like that's when I'm able to give myself a little bit more freedom and downtime. Like I don't have to, I'm not rushing around trying to get all my orders packed to go out tomorrow and stuff like that. So, yep. What's your last question? If I make a demonic seal out of paper and it gets damaged, is that the equivalent to performing the greater curse where you burn it? Hmm. I'm not sure entirely. Like I have a lot of different sigils. Like some, like I have a particular sigil I use for when I work with Abaddon that I've had for like 3 years now, and it's just printed on like parchment paper. It's already been blooded and stuff like that, and consecrated. But I use that for very specific types of workings, and I've never felt like I needed to burn it or anything. Whereas other sigils and stuff like that, I will burn over time, or I'll keep them for ongoing workings. And sometimes they get candle wax on them. Sometimes, other stuff, oils might get dripped on them. I just think it makes them a little extra spicy and powerful. Um, that's something for me. I would probably go with my intuition on, like, do I need to redo this? Or, you can get permanent sigils for things that are like I have the medallions from Goetic Impressions, or there's ones you can get that are woodcuts and stuff. So it depends. I hope that answers that kind of. Oh, babies. Oh, babies, are you sleeping? My cats are sleeping. They're very cute. Alrighty then. I am going to wrap up. Sorry, this is a little bit of a shorter stream, but it's my birthday. I can do what I want. Anyways, I love you guys. And also, I am having a birthday flash sale on the website and Etsy store. It goes through Monday at midnight, I believe. So stock up on your goods and whatnot. And yeah, I think it's 20% off. It's an automatic discount, so you don't need a discount code or anything. And that is through Monday, June 5th. Love y'all. Have a good one.